From our experiences on the field, talking to businesses and manufacturers, we do know that some of them want to start businesses. They want to go into an area they do not have the capacity for. They're very passionate, they want to do the business, but the truth is they're not equipped to do it. How are you helping bridge the gap between passion and really getting business going?
That's a very, very important question. Just last week, I met with a young man in my office. He's been sending me emails, very passionately asking for support about a particular business. And I arranged for one of my general managers to meet with him. And the feedback I got was that he wasn't very serious. But he kept coming back to me, and when I noticed that passion, I said, okay, let him come and have a meeting. And then I invited the general manager also, and we had a meeting, 3 of us. After listening to him for 10 minutes, I had to ask him, young man, I can feel the passion. I can hear the surrounding point, but I don't understand the core what they're trying to do.
And he's been carrying that for years, maybe.
Yeah, and so I just asked him a question. I said, okay, so what's a business model? He said, what's that? So for me, I knew immediately that we have a problem where people are trying to do business, but they don't understand the rudiment of doing a business. So I asked him, do you have a business model canvas? He said, what is that? I said, you know what? This is 2014. You can Google it. Go back. I know you have all the ideas. It's inside of you. It's just not coming out right. When you read it, try to transcribe your idea onto a one-page business model canvas, and then come back. Like, I think about 6 hours later that evening, he sent me a message that, sir, I have Googled it. I have seen what is a business model canvas. I'm working on it, and I'll be back. I said, great. So one thing we have learned from that is that we are going to have some training sessions with our BDSPs to teach them our business model. These are basic questions. So first, what are you trying to sell? Who are you going to sell to? What's the target market? What is your value proposition? In other words, what is it about your product or service that will make people patronize you?
Now let's talk about some of the challenges your customers face when trying to access funds. Some say the process of requesting for funds is too cumbersome. Others have said that asking them to bring collateral is as good as telling them to go back home and not do business. Some people have even asked what the real difference between the Bank of Industry and the commercial banks are, because if you're asking them for collateral, there is no difference between you, your operations, or the commercial banks.
It's very simple. The Bank of Industry is a development bank. And development banks means we are catalysts. We go to where commercial banks, are trying to avoid.
I'm coming from you.
Yeah. So I used to be a commercial bank, so I know. Now, having said that, we all know that in Nigeria, long-term loans don't come by readily. So BOI grants long-term loans, 7 years, in some cases 10 years. Secondly, in terms of the pricing, the interest rate on the loans, clearly our rates are usually about 10%. So if you go to the average commercial bank, you're probably talking 20, 21, 22%. So those are two clear differences between us and the commercial banks. But having said that, in terms of accessing loans from Bank of Industry, what we've tried to do is to create channels, for our customers. So first, you can approach Bank of Industry directly. And, we have our head office in Marina, Lagos. We have Abuja office. We have zonal offices in Asaba, in Enugu, Kaduna and Bauchi. Now, in addition to that, you can also have an online application. We've just introduced that recently, where you can apply online and then people can contact you to ask follow-up questions. The third arm is through accredited third parties. And so we've just appointed a number of business development service providers, BDSPs. And their role is to work with SMEs to help in, packaging their loan applications so that by the time it gets to Bank of Industry, those applications are bankable. Because our experience has shown that, a lot of the applications that come to us don't meet the standards. We believe that working with these BDSPs who already understand our process, who understand our policy, who understand the criteria, what we're looking for, they can help the SMEs to improve their applications so that the chance of success will be higher. So either you come to us directly, or you go through the online channel, or you apply through the BDSPs. We have so many ways in which we can be reached. But at the end of the day, for Bank of Industry as a development bank to be sustainable, when we grant loans, those loans must be repaid. Because if we grant loans and they're not repaid, before you know it, BOI may become history. So when people talk about, collateral and no collateral, it's important that the loans are well secured and that we have some reasonable assurance that they will be repaid.
Rashid Olaoluwa is the incumbent CEO and Managing Director of the Bank of Industry. A first-class degree holder from the Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, with an executive MBA from the International Graduate School of Management, Barcelona. His role in the next couple of years in the nation's industrialization drive could make all the difference. That's our program this week. Thank you for watching.